The focusing question. To get the right answers, you have to write. To get the right answers, you have to ask the right questions. Now, everyone's heard that before, but it's quite possible that the right question is going to be that focusing question most of the time. And for those of you who've read the book, you know it. For those of you who don't, it's the one I've kind of repeated a few times in the last few videos. It is, what is the one thing you can do such that everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? And that helps you line up your activities in their levered level of importance. That's levered level of importance. And if you do that, you're always taking care of the most important thing first. But in order to do that, you need to ask that focusing question. What is the one thing I can do today that will make everything else unnecessary or easier? And you can use that in a whole bunch of different areas in your life. In your personal life, like I've done this with Jessamy. I'm like, what is the one thing I can do for Jessamy that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? And if I ask that question, she's typically happier, I'm happier. There's some things that I don't end up needing to do because I did that one thing. And in your spiritual life, what is the one thing you can do in your spiritual life that would make everything else unnecessary or easier? For me, it's reading my Bible and praying in the morning, and that makes the rest of my day better. In your work life, that is an area I know that I struggle with, and I tend to sometimes get overwhelmed with the task. But what I've been trying to do, and it is tough, is to figure out in the morning what is one thing that I can do that's gonna make all my other tasks easier or unnecessary. And I think we can do that in every aspect of our work, from our TC work to sales to whatever it might be, even though sometimes it's gonna be tough. I love what Gary Keller said, and I don't know if it was Gary Keller that said this, but who first said it, but he had it in his book. And everyone knows the old saying that even a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. But what Gary said is, if you take the wrong first step, it could end up being a 3,000-mile journey because you go completely 1,000 miles in the wrong direction. And even though every journey, even a 1,000-mile journey, starts with the first step, you got to make sure that first step is the correct step, and it's by asking that question. So ask the focusing question. There's the big picture focusing question, which is kind of big vision stuff, like where do you want your life to go? How do you want to be remembered? Career choices and career paths. Those are the big things. Like, what is one thing I could do to get myself where I want to be in my career, or where I want to be in my relationship with my wife, or where I want to be with my relationship with my employees. For me, it was getting back to doing the one-on-ones with the team. What can I do to better my relationship with the team? Well, it was the one-on-ones. I feel like since we've done that, we've all been on a better track, and I know what everyone's thinking, and that was my big one thing with the team that made a massive difference. So be thinking about this. What is the one thing you can do that would make such that everything else is unnecessary or easier to accomplish? Small picture stuff would just be the daily little things. And you don't have to ask it about everything. But if you ask it about the important things, and that could be, you could use the focusing question again. What to focus on, which things you should even use the focusing question on. And now I just went cross-eyed, like it's gonna get crazy. But I think you can use that. I think you can use that for so many things. So start thinking about that. And I'm really curious to see what things we come up with.